Good afternoon, podcast listeners everywhere. Welcome to After the Bell, a Stunt Brothers production. I'm Martin Stubel.
And I'm Roy Hunt, and we share your pain, having taught a combined 70 years.
70 years?
I know, wow. So get out your marking, organize your supplies, or just pour yourself a coffee.
I think I need something stronger.
That's okay. And listen, engage, and interact with After the Bell, a podcast for you, the hardworking, dedicated teacher who wants free lesson plans, free advice, and a free meal.
Oh, I always show up for a free meal. Well, Mr. Hunt, episode 60. Oh, I know. I'm not there yet.
You're so close.
I'm not there yet. I'm still
Can you
59.
feel it?
I'm still 59. And I'm going to hold on to this to every last
and
second.
A few seconds?
Because of the clocks going forward. I lost an hour of that, right? I had to jump ahead.
Yes.
So no more. I'm glad that we're holding steady at this time now. We're not there yet.
All right. So
I am not the age of my episode right now.
Oh, okay. But it is season 2, episode 30.
It is. Yeah. That's nice and clean sounding.
There you go. Good sounding.
Yeah. And we're giving you another bonus episode for spring break. We hope you guys are taking time to relax, recharge. If you're dying to hear something again, well, here's a bonus episode for you. So who do we got going here? We got we're kind of putting some of the fun ones that we have left over from season 1.
They're all fun.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be hard to choose. But these were particularly fun because one was just our celebration for completing 1 year of episodes and still liking each other.
Yeah, we had a bit of a party to celebrate.
Yes,
so we have
we
some
did.
guests that came on to say a few things. And then one of those guests, Nick Marino, is actually going to be in our other part of this episode.
Yes.
Who he came and talked about his book, right? Mm-hmm. Eastside Story.
Yes.
And he's actually working hard on a second book, so I hope to have him back on as a guest. Mm-hmm. But he was a fun guest to talk about.
It was a lot of fun.
And get into the P&E and his experiences there when he worked there. And he's a teacher from Vancouver, so that was really, I thought, a fun conversation and a little taste of the P&E for our listeners again. So chance during spring break to go back in the summer a bit.
It's a great combination of 2 episodes that really work well together, a celebration and a taste of summer.
Yeah, so everybody enjoy.
Yes.
So here we are. We are with our guest, Nick Marino, who is a teacher in Nootka, right, Nick?
Yeah, in Vancouver.
And we're excited about this podcast because Roy and I have both read his book, Eastside Story, and highly recommend it. It was a really, really fascinating read. And for anyone who either grew up in Vancouver and the P&E is that thing at the end of August, or Roy who did not, but you have a lot of experience with fairs, right?
Well, I have a lot of experience with fairs, but I guess the other thing, I also have a connection to East Vancouver because I lived in East Vancouver on the corner of Pender and Renfrew.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's right near where my parents grew up. My parents were
really?
neighbors 1 block up from there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
Pender and Caslow, I think, is the next street up. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a sort of a 2-story condo right
Nice.
on the corner, right across from the P&E parking lot, the one that's on the corner of Hastings and Renfrew.
Yeah.
And so I have a connection here. I've been to New Brighton Park with my daughters, and I have fond memories of traveling down Hastings Street to a number of the sort of delicatessens along the way. I know Donald's was our favorite shopping place, and we still come from the North Shore to shop at Donald's because the connections that we made with the people there, and just I guess it reminds us of East Van. We love coming.
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah. I want to, because I feel like, am I cutting into the introduction too much?
You
Go
cut
ahead.
in whenever you want.
Okay.
Yeah, jump in.
So I just want to be clear on something. I feel like you guys are looking to me as sort of the East Van guy, which makes sense, East Side Story.
Yeah.
But I know that my cousins who grew up around First and Nanaimo do not see me as an East Van guy because I'm from the Killarney area, which is southeast Vancouver. So I don't want to have any stolen valor or anything. I have a lot of longtime family connections to this area. My grandma, my aunt, like I say, my parents grew up in this area. But the book is Eastside Story because the P&E is in the East Side, and it's a story about there.
Right.
However, people that went to Killarney in Vancouver, and I'm really splitting hairs here.
Yeah, we were planning to do this whole podcast about your connection to East Van. That is not. We don't care about the P&E. There goes that idea.
Well, that's it. I mean, we can still talk a bit about it, but I want to be clear.
Okay, great.
So we always start, before we get to the nitty-gritty about East Van or the P&E,
Okay.
we start with an icebreaker. We call it ABC 1, 2, 3, just to loosen things up. And it's kind of like the Colbert questionnaire. Have you ever watched Colbert's show?
He kind of quit a while ago.
Yeah, he does this questionnaire thing where it's the first thing that comes into your mind.
Okay,
so whatever
all right.
pops in your mind, say it. Or you might be
Feels like
giving
a
a
lot of
choice
pressure.
between. It's a lot of pressure. Yeah, but have fun. So Roy, you're going to start with the ABCs, and I will do the 1, 2, 3.
Right.
Okay.
So it's ABC 1, 2, 3 about the P&E.
Oh,
So
okay.
There you go.
I thought it was maybe about my personal life. That's why I was a little bit concerned.
All right. Mini donuts or kettle corn?
Oh, mini donuts all day. Yeah.
Corn dog or potato tornado?
Well, I'm a vegetarian now, so I'm going to go potato tornado.
Okay.
But corn dog when I was younger, I think.
Okay. Hunky Bill's or Henry's Outdoor Barbecued Chicken?
I think, again, just like I'm going to ignore that I'm a vegetarian, and I think barbecued chicken is more exciting than pierogies.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Number 1, the wooden roller coaster or the corkscrew?
Well, the wooden roller coaster is better. I've been on the corkscrew more times because I'm afraid of the wooden roller coaster. So I've been on the roller coaster a few times. And my daughter and I are going to the Wilco concert in, I think, next week.
Okay, yeah.
And we're planning on going on the wooden roller coaster.
And are you afraid of it just because of the age? Or
I was afraid of it when I was a kid because it seemed too old.
Yeah, yeah.
And 50 years later, it's still there.
still there.
And it's very creaky, the creaky sounds and everything, yeah.
Yeah, and it doesn't feel like you're strapped in properly and all that. So, yeah.
Okay, number 2, Demolition Derby or the Lumberjack Show?
Oh, Demolition Derby is the best part of the P&E that's ever had. Yeah.
And I didn't realize they got rid of that in 1991. I was just reading.
Yeah, I just met a guy that used to drive in the Demolition Derby.
Yeah.
He said sometimes he worked at a garage and they would get the cars for like $20 they'd buy off somebody. Because at the time there was all these old cars from I guess they were from the 60s, the cars they were using mainly. Yeah. And they were just everywhere.
And you don't really get that anymore, right? Everybody's car looks new. Like you look on the road.
Yeah, I know.
We were young. People
and all the airbags would be going off and everything. You couldn't do it.
And then number 3, walking through the P&E Prize home or walking through the marketplace?
Oh, I hated the P&E Prize home as a kid. And as an adult. And in fact, we went through it a couple years ago and it was just like pictures of it. It wasn't even there anymore.
Yeah.
You just walk through and they show you what it would look like if you were there. Yeah, I hated the P&E Prize home with a passion as a kid.
That was the worst words when my mom would say, let's go see the P&E Prize home,
Yeah.
right? We'd get in that long line up. I wanted to go over and win some prizes or go on a ride, and we were in that lot for a place that didn't look that amazing to me.
Not at all.
Yeah.
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 Did you guys ever know anyone that won the home or hear about it? Yeah, I mean, either. It would have been interesting to actually interview someone that had won the home.
Yeah.
How it changed them or if it did.
In talking about the P&E, the connections that we have for fairs and festivals, and in Japan they call it the matsuri, and they're just opportunities to make social connections, community connections, nurturing pride, and creating new relationships. And oftentimes festivals will bring in local crafts and food, and just get people and fairgoers to connect to their roots. So I bring a lens, because I come from southwestern Ontario. I bring a lens of fairs and festivals. We would go to the Highland Games in where I live, and watch people do the caber toss and things, and then they would have their own demolition derby. Oftentimes, I think if they could get some tractors in there, they would. And
That was just the parking lot.
it's in the parking lot, and tractor pulls where they would have tractors like chained to each other and try to outmuscle the other tractor, and which doesn't sound as exciting as demolition derby.
Was it a bit exciting though? Seeing
Well,
the
it was
tractor pull?
because they always put water down on the field, so
Oh, yeah.
the tires would dig in and
Yeah.
mud would be flying everywhere and then fly into
Yeah, and it was so
spectators.
loud and everything. Yeah.
Loud in that way, yes. So, what do you think? And before we go into talking about the book, what do you think is the real draw, the connection? Does it have some of those elements? Is the PNE sort of, does it really pull community together, do you think? What?
I think it does. I think there's sort of two ways to look at it. Like there's sort of the corporate way that they, organize the fair, and they're like, okay, so we have these cultural dancers over here, and we're going to have they try to represent the community and as well as they can. So that's that. But then underneath it, you've got all the teenagers that are just there to meet girls or boys, whatever, to try and in the end have sex, right? Like, I mean, that's why they're going there. So, I mean, it relates to the base instinct in young people, like you can overeat, you can get overstimulated on these rides, you can maybe meet someone. I talk about in the book how about it's all about possibility. Yeah. So when you show up, it's like, hey, maybe my mom will let me get 3 bags of donuts this year, or if you're older, like maybe I will meet that girl, or maybe we'll get on that ride so many times. So I think it does bring out all those cultural elements, but I think just like in schools, like when you plan certain things. You're like having certain days at the school and you think this is bringing the culture, but there's actually this culture underneath that the kids are actually running it. Yeah. And I see the PNE similar to that where because I see the PNE mainly as something for teens and kids. Yeah. And there's their own culture running this thing. So I think if you were like looking back, say if this could be recorded in 500 years, people look back at the PNE, they wouldn't be looking at what attractions were there. They'd be looking at the interactions and how teens and young people treated each other and what their goals. And
don't you think a lot of teens would look upon it as a real transition to adulthood, like what they learned to the PNE, right or wrong, was that chance to kind of have some freedom, to have this underground economy that was theirs, right? To operate free from parents. Yeah. In a relatively safe manner, but clearly there was some danger there. But it was, I think, a lot of people would look upon that time. They're earning money for the first time. They're having sex for the first time, right? They're doing all these things in a place that made them realize I'm not a kid anymore, right? Yeah, and
it's exciting. Like when you're in high school and then you're put into a place with hundreds of other high school kids that you don't know. Yeah, But in the case of a lot of people that worked at the PNE, a lot of them knew each other because they were all from the surrounding high schools. Yeah. I was from, I said from Killarney, so there wasn't really people I knew here so much. It was always, I knew like 10 or 20 people down here, but there were other people that would have known hundreds of people down here. Yeah. And that's not exaggerating because there would have been hundreds of people working from Templeton or Tech or whatever here. Yeah. Yeah.
My favorite part of the book was, it was people that would break into the PNE. Right, when you talked about some of that, or sneak into the Coliseum so they can catch a show, and it reminded me, my girlfriend at the time, she was, first her job was, this is when you were like 19 years old, but her job was at Orange Julius, but then she got a job as a security guard. So ironically, a friend of mine and I, we broke into the PNE at 2 a.m, and she told us where there was an opening in the fence to visit her as a security guard, and it just reminded me of that time. And we walked around the whole grounds, just this place,
in the dark.
In the dark,
oh, that's awesome.
And the only security guard who knew about it was my girlfriend, so I was safe.
Yeah. Well, I talked to a lot of guys that like a little older than me. And they were saying how like nothing was locked then. Like you could just walk onto the property and just walk into the buildings. And like I wrote about the people sneaking into the Coliseum to watch the Canucks practice, even to sneak into games, that kind of stuff. And I talked about my cousin, how one of my cousins would sneak into games he would go at the front of a family, and as they walked through, he would say, my dad's got the tickets at the back. And then as soon as he got through the gate, he would just take off. Yeah. And then his brother, who was like more, like less, he was a bullshitter. Sorry, can I swear?
Yeah. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, so he was, he could use the gift of the gab. Yeah. So he just thought, I could run in, but I could also just walk in. Mm-hmm. So he just pretended that he was on the local New West Bruins. He just acted like he was on that
True
team,
confidence
and for
man,
years,
right?
he wouldn't just walk quickly, and he'd stop and chat up the guy at the
That's
door.
the
I
thing.
remember
ask
reading
about
that.
the family and all that kind of thing. So for years, him and his friends just did that. So I loved all that. And then I know you guys have read the book, but just for people that haven't,
please.
One of my favorite stories is a guy named Dan, who I interviewed, a friend of my cousin's, who he didn't think it was stealing. It was a broken goalie stick after a Canucks practice, and he was in there watching the practice. And I think they were okay with you watching practice sometimes. It didn't feel like they were chasing them out all the time. And he saw this goalie stick and he grabbed it. And then the Canucks goalie saw him take it. And he was like, I know, he's yelling and swearing at him. And he chased him all the way from the Coliseum almost to the roller coaster, yelling and swearing at him the whole time. and Dan was like, well, this guy's old. And the guy probably was like 30,
Right.
32 or something. But Dan was like 14
So he
or
was
13 or 12 or something. And he's like, I can
all
outrun this
relative.
old man.
Yeah.
So he chased us. So this Canuck chased him, which I measured it was like equivalent of like 10 city blocks or something before Dan finally had to drop the thing. Yeah, drop him, run away. Dan also had he lived in the area. And what I found fascinating talking to people, and then I realized it also applied to where my aunt lived. There was a lot of professional wrestlers that lived in East Vancouver because there was all-star wrestling
that's right.
at the P&E,
Yes.
at the Forum.
Yeah, yes.
So actually on my aunt's block, there was 2 wrestlers.
Oh,
And growing up, I didn't even really think about it. I was just like, they would sort of talk. My uncle would talk poorly of them because my uncle was a boxer.
Okay.
So
Oh.
he saw these guys as losers.
Lower class, right? Yeah.
But Dan lived next door to, I can't remember. I changed his name. I changed him to the Belgium Beast, I think, but he had a different name. It was something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
And he got in a fight with this guy's son, and then the son ran home and said, Dan punched me in the nose, and this wrestler chased Dan. And he was like, I think like 11 or 12 years old at the most of the time.
Yeah.
And he said he just got out of the guy's grip as he's trying to grab him going over the fence. And he said, oh my God, I pissed my pants. Because he said, I would see, and this boxer was known for having killed a man in the ring. So imagine you're in elementary school and this guy who's a known killer is chasing you.
Yeah. One of the things that I loved about in reading the book is finding the opportunities to make money during the PNE. And one of my connections to it was because, as I told you before, I lived at the corner of Renfrew and Pender. And
can I
we
guess
had
you had the
underground parking.
Yes.
And so our complex would get everyone to volunteer to move out of the underground, and then we would sell parking for all the time during we were at the PNE. And
what did you guys charge, like 10 or 20 bucks? Or?
Something like that.
Yeah.
It was just like I can't remember exactly, but the thing that would drive me absolutely crazy though is we would be selling the parking, and then I would go to park in the front of our house, and it was really competitive. So you'd get 4 or 5. So I'd go to park in front of our house, and 4 or 5 people would be rushing me. They're like, "Oh, do you need parking?" I said, "No, I live here. I'm parking in front of my house."
Yeah, the parking lady. I mean, it's generally a lot of old Italian and old Asian women are the parking ladies at the P&E, running around with their cardboard signs.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I've always loved them. They add such flavor to the neighborhood, and I've always thought that if a photographer should do like an exhibit of just all the parking ladies, I think would be
That would be
great.
amazing.
And their signs, they're very and little milk cartons that they sit on or stand on, and
I wrote in the book about Bob Leonarduzzi, who was like played on the Whitecaps, and he was like a star in the 80s and 70s and 80s. He would do parking for. He lived right by the P&E, right? And he would park cars on his neighbor's lawn, and he'd make money that way. And he said he'd just bring home like a pocket full of quarters. He made all his money in like quarters at the time, I think. But I think he had a bad deal. I think the guy's house, the guy took like 75%. Like he got a quarter for every dollar or something like that. Yeah.
The guy had a good
But
deal.
when you think about it, I mean, you had the BC Lions, you had the Whitecaps, you had the Canucks, you had the PNE.
And then all the concerts.
And all the concerts in there.
Yeah.
I mean, it would have been like traffic snarls everywhere during those nights.
Yeah.
And then money to be made. I mean, between the parking, and then what I loved in the book is sort of that during the PNE, how the students would have this underground economy saying, okay, you're working at food and I'm working over here. I'll give you a discount here, or maybe even you give me 5, I'll give you 20 kind of thing. And then you give me free food. And just how, that community of young men and women who are, some of them having their first job, have this underground economy, but also this connection of working together.
Yeah, and also
that's pretty amazing.
When you steal together, it really brings you together. Like you're in this together, right? So it's a real connection. So my first job was at the P&E blowing up balloons. I was 12 years old. And our game was a dart game. You have to pop 3 balloons in a row, like a tic-tac-toe, and then you would win you'd win a record, So all the teenagers wanted records. So this guy came to me and he said, I was opening up as before the P&E, before the crowd was in, and he said, I'll give you free food if you give me some records. So I gave him a couple of records, and I went to his thing that day, and I bought a cheeseburger and a fries or whatever, gave him $5, and he gave me like $28 back, and I was like, okay, I'm in. I understand. This is great. It was scary, because I was, like I said, I was just out of elementary. I wasn't even in high school yet.
Wow.
It was the summer between grade 7 and grade 8, But yeah, I think, again, going back to the culture, like that's more important than the Highland dancers on the stage. Although that would be presented as a cultural context. The culture is this underground subculture of the underground economy that was going on. And I didn't get it that much because I didn't have as many friends down here. But the people I talked to who had a ton of friends, they were all, they exchanged everything. They didn't pay for anything. Parking, games, rides, food, everything was free for them. Because they all did it for each other. Yeah. The guy who told me is a teacher. But he didn't want me to use his name.
And I don't know if did I mention at the beginning, Roy, that Nick is a teacher?
Yes,
I'm sure I did. And was there anything in the P&E that prepared you for your teaching career that you look back on? That was a good skill that helped me in my successful elementary teaching
my
career.
jobs at the P&E the actual job was blowing up balloons 1 year and then handing out bingo cards.
Okay. Yeah.
So
that would do it.
Handing out papers.
Handing out bingo cards is a bit like silent reading. How you can.
I really enjoyed another part, and it was when you talked about Gloria Makarenko and Miss P&E, because when she was just on TV for the CBC as the newscaster, what do you call it?
The anchor?
The anchor, for many years. She's on radio now. I always had a secret crush on Gloria Makarenko, so I really enjoyed your interview with her. How did you find that?
Oh, it was good. Yeah. I had first interviewed someone named Christine, who was Miss P&E. I wasn't planning on writing about Miss P&E. It never even crossed my mind. And then this book is like a series of books it's on Arsenal Pulp Press, but within that, this local, do you guys know Charlie Damaris, the local comedian?
Yes, we do.
Oh, yeah. So Charlie is the editor of this book.
Okay.
Oh,
okay.
So he's the one that asked me to write it, and he has the...
He's also on the debaters.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So he's the, I guess, he runs Robin's Egg Books, which is called an imprint. Someone on some record labels, a musician will have his own small label on that.
Yes.
That's what an imprint is for a publishing house.
Okay.
So he was asking comedians to write books, and I had kind of told him an idea I had about this, and then he asked me to write it. And so he announced it when it was here in the Vancouver Writers Festival, and the guy who wrote the book the year before, float like a butterfly, drink mint tea. It was about anyway. It's a very good book as well. He was in that book. He said, and the book next year is going to be written by Nick Marino. It's about the P&E. And then as soon as that show ended, this woman came over and she said, "Are you writing about Miss P&E?" And I'm like, "Oh, I don't know." She goes, "I was Miss P&E. Do you want to write about Miss P&E?" And I was like, "Yeah." So she was really great to talk to, and she was, she told me some really interesting things. The thing that I found the most interesting was, so she was 17 when she was Miss P&E, grade 11 going into grade 12, right?
Yeah.
So she had to walk around with Erwin Swangard, who was in his 80s. He was the president of the P&E.
Okay.
She had to walk around with him in her sash and crown all the time, right?
Wow.
But it's the P&E. I guess it makes sense, kind of, right, at the time. But then she had to go to every board meeting that the P&E had. And she had to sit with Erwin Swangard, and she had to wear her crown and sash at the board meetings when they'd be talking about moving electrical lines and repainting the parking lot and stuff. Yeah.
Another time, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
And she said, she didn't, like, I don't want to, nothing, I'm not saying anything about Erwin Swangard.
No.
But I am, kind
It's
of,
not
because,
really
I mean,
it's
he's
not
an old
appropriate.
man.
Yeah. It's not appropriate.
He didn't do anything, but she said, I realized I was, like, kind of like a prize that he was carrying around.
Yeah.
So, okay, then I talk, getting back to your Gloria Makarenko question.
Yeah.
When I talked to her, I brought that up, and she was not impressed.
In what way?
She really liked Erwin Swangard.
Okay,
And he was kind of a mentor to her.
Okay.
Because he had been in the newspaper business.
Yeah.
And she was going into, her plan was to
Into
go
broadcast.
into
Right.
into journalism. So she kind of shut that down right away.
Okay.
And I don't think it offended her.
Okay.
But I just felt like it was a little bit shaky ground when I was talking to her about it. And then I was on her show on CBC Radio.
Yeah.
She interviewed me.
Okay.
And she didn't bring up that she was in the book when I was talking to her.
Oh.
So I thought, that's weird. So I brought it up.
Okay.
And she didn't say too much about it, about being Miss Peony. I guess it's something that she doesn't talk about much. I just felt like that maybe she was slightly offended by my Ernie Swangard question.
Interesting.
But I could be reading way too much into it.
Sure.
Because also I was like, I've done like 5 interviews in my life, and she's done thousands.
Yeah.
So she's probably thinking, what's this guy doing? I was getting in my head about her because she's so good at what she does.
Yes.
And she's so natural.
Yes.
But yeah, interviewing her was fun. It was fun to find out all the stuff about her. Like, she had never been to the P&E before she was Miss P&E.
That's I remember
she was
reading
from
that.
From Prince Rupert.
Prince Rupert it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she was really, really nice and friendly and helpful. My memory, you know how like you can do everything great, and then there's one thing you think went wrong. That's all you think
dwell
about.
on that, right?
Yes.
Human nature.
Yes.
She might not even. She might not
Probably
even remember
didn't
that.
even come up in her mind, right? Yeah. No, for sure.
But
So-
yeah, it was. She's a very impressive.
Yeah.
She's very good at her job.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah.
She is.
Because you listen to her and like listen to me like If she did that on her show, she wouldn't still have her show.
she
But
would
now
not.
she's
Right.
talking to different people all the
And
time.
she can lure
I'm
people
talking
into
about something I
answering things,
supposedly
right?
know.
So, is there anything that you left on the floor? There's anything that you wish you would have put in the book?
Well, I mean, since I wrote the book, I've met people that come to me, and everyone's got like P&E stories.
Yeah.
One of the ones, and there's a chapter in there about the Crump brothers. They were some African Canadian brothers, twins that my dad knew. They were my dad's friends. They were longshoremen, but they were also performers that performed at the P&E, and I wrote about them and their experience there. And their daughter Brenda came to me after. It was really, I had a lot of people come to me and like sort of thank me for the book and stuff. It was really kind of great. But she came to a reading I did. And then after, she told me a story where she was at the P&E, because she's about my age, and she was at the P&E in the 80s, and there was a blackout, like all the lights went out, and she was by the games, and she said when the lights came back on, everyone was walking around with giant stuffed animals, and like people had stolen all of the stuff, all of the prizes. So like those kind of stories that people tell me, I wish I would have. And then my cousin, Paula, her friend, Carlo, I think his name is, he still does this. It's all about like when I said my cousin Ed would just walk into the Coliseum and act like he's supposed to be there. This guy still does this, where he pretends that he owns a horse, and he just drives. He never pays for parking, and he just goes straight. And he talks to the guys about the horse or whatever, and it's just one of the. So I love those stories, especially things that I wouldn't have been brave enough to do.
Yeah. And
Also, can I just say,
go ahead.
Sometimes people will come to me. I did a reading in Richmond at a library there. And there was this very nice woman who came up to me later. She had been part of the organizing committee to get it. And she came up and she started telling me stories that she thought related to the book. But they were only related in the way that the stories involved other Italian people. Like they didn't involve the P&E at all. And one of them was like about some murder and then someone being put in a freezer or something. And she was like, "I thought you'd like to know this, because of your book." And I was like, "Well, it's not really about that, but it was a good story." But yeah, so that's been really fun, meeting people and getting the chance to hear their stories. Yeah. Yeah, the book's been great that way.
I think our next part will kind of help us get about some of the characters in the book. They really are like that. They're the stars of the book.
Exactly,
Some of these characters, and we kind of had this idea.
Yeah.
That let's imagine this is a production meeting, and we're making a movie of the book. We're making.
We're going to make a movie.
Eastside Story, the movie.
Oh, I love this
Okay.
game. So we're going to cast it?
Yeah, we're
gonna
going to cast it.
it.
We're going to come up with a soundtrack, maybe a director, right?
Okay.
And then you can give us some background on some of the characters we have. So,
Okay.
Roy, get
So-
started.
We're gonna
Can I just say before you
Go
even
ahead.
started? So my biggest influence when writing this book, what I was trying to capture was the essence of the movie Dazed and Confused.
Okay.
Okay.
So that is the feeling that I
Okay,
wanted.
okay.
How those teenagers, it's just one night of teenagers, and they're just living that one day and night.
Okay.
And you sort of see all these interactions and all the things that teenagers go through, the highs and the lows and that kind of thing. So that was the feel that I wanted.
So this is your movie. So
This is your movie.
You guide us and you get us to
We're
where
gonna
you want
start.
to be.
We have a list of some characters we want to know some background information on.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll give as much as
Okay,
they would
so
allow me
we'll
to.
talk about Eric Kaprowski.
Okay.
Tell us about him.
All right. Well, Eric.
Tell the listener if they maybe haven't read the book.
Yeah.
Give them a bit of an idea of this Eric guy.
Well, Eric was a very tough guy that I went to high school with. I heard from him yesterday because actually someone else, this is a sad story. I don't know if we need to tell this, but someone that we went to high school with died a couple days ago.
Oh,
and
sorry.
she was that Mountie,
Yes, I've read.
Catherine Galliford,
Yep.
yes,
she
yeah.
had been,
Yes.
she finally spoke up about
She
being
did.
sexually harassed and
Yes.
assaulted by. So anyway, she's someone that we graduated with. So
okay.
so we were just texting a little bit about that. But Eric is a real character, a huge personality. He moved here from Poland in grade 8 or 9, I think. Became a very strong bodybuilder, weightlifter kind of guy in the 80s.
Okay.
And was a bouncer at several clubs.
Okay.
I always got along really well with him, but he could be a very scary guy.
Oh. Okay.
It's delicate work being friends with a scary guy, especially if you're gonna if you're going to tease them a little bit, which I would joke with him a little bit. And
What's the line, right?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Delicate work.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So who do you think would play him? Can you think of
This is a good question.
someone? So I was thinking.
Well, what do you guys think? Because I know him. Like, if you've seen him in the book, what do you think of him?
Well, I was thinking Zac Efron.
Yeah.
After his, he did that show on wrestling. It was something what the Claw, something like that. Because he was like,
Oh, you know,
Buff.
I got it. I know who it is.
Okay.
80s Dolph Lundgren.
oh,
Okay.
Yeah,
yeah,
Dolph Lundgren for
Okay.
sure.
I like that. Yeah.
Because Eric still has that sort of Eastern European accent
Okay.
a little bit, which I don't think I talked about in the book. But yeah, and he has the blonde hair, bigger than everybody else. Yeah, so I go Dolph Lundgren with
Okay,
him.
we'll get our casting
Nice.
crew on that.
Okay.
How about tell us about Red Scardillo?
Red was so Steve knows Red pretty well. Anyway, Steve is another teacher we know.
yeah.
and he's my brother-in-law.
Okay.
I was
And-
actually on a hike with Steve the other day, and he said he didn't keep his part in the book. He had a whole story he told you, and it's not in the book.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So Red was this, to me, just like a legendary, tough, scary guy. When I was a kid, I'd walk, worked at the Peony. He'd be the guy standing in front of the arcade. He was a bouncer. I was scared of him. Still am. Okay. He's a very nice guy to me now.
Yeah.
Like, I talk to him. He loves the book. He loves being in the book.
Okay.
He's always asking me for more copies of the book to sell to, not to sell to give to friends and that kind of thing.
Yes.
So he's been a big supporter of the book. So yeah, he's just a real character. I don't know him that well. I never knew him as a kid. Turned out he was really good friends with my second cousin. They were bouncers at the Commodore together.
Okay.
Actually, Red told me a great story. He said his first night working at the Commodore, it was a concert, and this guy jumped up on stage, and the other bouncer grabbed the guy and took him off stage and took him backstage, right? And he's like, Red, come here, let me show you something. And he took the guy and he threw him down the back stairs of the Commodore, that goes all the way. It's just a straight set of stairs that goes all the way to the alley.
Wow.
And he took this guy and he threw him down. He said the guy rolled all the way down the stairs, hit the door, went out into the alley, and the door closed behind him. And the other guy was like, and that's how you do it. I mean, I don't, just to be clear, I don't think that should have happened to the guy.
No.
Good story.
Good
Yeah.
story.
Sounds like Rolling Stones, 1969.
Okay.
My God.
So we have to cast him.
So I'm thinking, I kind of, Jake Gyllenhaal is a possibility, but you know this guy, so what do you think?
I think we need someone bigger and more menacing.
Okay.
Oh.
And the problem is, I don't know if there's leading men that way. I think we might need to look at more character guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. Who's a big scary guy? I hate when they put wrestlers in movies.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I think maybe some kind of wrestler.
You might
could
need
maybe
it for
play
this.
the part.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because he was a guy of few words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the time.
Yeah.
So I think you just
So
have
like-
that big scary.
Would The Rock work? Or is it just
I
I mean, we know him too much in these other movies
Yeah.
now, right?
I think just some
maybe we want to
wrestler-
find some new...
Dave Bautista.
Yeah, something. yeah.
Okay.
I think a wrestler would work for him.
Somebody new, a new face. Okay.
Yeah, so we cover the two tough guys in the book.
Okay.
All right. What about Isaac Messenger?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God,
What a
that guy.
character.
So should I quickly tell the Isaac story?
Yes,
or?
please.
Yeah.
Please,
Okay.
Please.
So I was at home one day. My wife, my daughter, and my wife actually, my whole family has worked at Arts Umbrella, but my daughter was working at Arts Umbrella, and she came home and she said, "Hey, Terry Lynn says you got to interview her landlord, basically." She's got a crazy story. So I went there. I won't tell the whole long story, but basically, this guy who's in his 90s now, he had a really fascinating life. So he was born in the 30s, and he was Jewish in Poland, and his whole family was either killed or taken away, and he was the only one left. So he was left on the streets in Poland as a young guy, maybe early teens or something. Became part of a pickpocket ring. He was the muscle, which is hilarious because if you see him now, like he comes up to my shoulder, but I guess he just shrunk. He was the muscle. And also, tough guys can be small. You know.
Yeah.
We all
for
saw
sure.
Train Spotting.
Yeah.
Begbie wasn't the biggest guy, but he was scary. So anyway,
Joe Pesci is like a short guy.
Exactly,
I was thinking
yeah.
for this role.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So eventually he came over to Winnipeg, and when he was in Winnipeg, he was like on the streets, kind of like he was with a family, but he was like a street tough.
Yeah.
And he got to know guys in the mafia there, and then this guy that had lent some or borrowed some money from the mafia didn't have enough to pay it back, and they're threatening to kill him. So then that guy went to Isaac and said, can you help me out? I know you know these guys. I think they're going to kill me. I've got a family. So Isaac went and worked out a deal that this guy didn't get killed and the mafia got paid. Years later, that guy was working at Playland at the Peony, and and then Isaac moved here from Winnipeg, and he said to Isaac, "Hey, I'll give you a job, and since you helped me out so much, you saved my life. I'll give you this. You can work at a gambling tent doing the wheel, the crown and anchor wheel, and at the end of the day, all the money that you made, just take it home. Just take that money because you saved my life." So every day, Isaac would take home like $500 or whatever. You know, this was in the 50s.
Yeah.
And then he bought a house with this money that he had from the fair, and he still lives in that house.
Wow.
So I went and I went and interviewed him. He's a little bit, has a bit of dementia, but he talking about often when people with dementia, they're old stories.
Yeah,
they know.
they're clear.
Very clear.
Yeah.
Turned out he became friends with Rocky Marciano.
Yeah.
And he was like, I grew up in Vancouver, and I didn't really know there was any mafia here at all. But he's like, "Oh yeah." Then I bought the house off a mafia guy here, and I was like, I didn't even know this existed. And then he would say that sometimes the mafia would get him to go and pick someone up from the airport and drive them to somewhere. They would do their monkey business, and then he'd drive them back to the airport. So I don't know if. So I love that monkey bit, like
monkey
murder or whatever. It's just a bit of monkey business.
Are they buying donuts or are they killing somebody?
Yeah. So the monkey business was they'd get someone from out of town to do the monkey business so no one would recognize you.
There you go.
Wow.
Yeah.
So who would you cast?
Oh, for Isaac.
Yeah.
Okay, so okay. I'm thinking of him as a little old man.
Yeah, but in his prime.
In
right?
his prime.
Yeah.
It would have to be some small, tough. I I don't know. You guys have an idea?
Well,
Because that might help me
We
narrow
had
it
Joe
down.
Pesci.
We definitely had Joe Pesci.
Because I'm thinking,
Okay, Isaac's personality, when I met him, was nothing like Joe
Like
Pesci's
that.
personality.
Yeah.
But I love that pick.
Yeah.
And if we're making the movie, people don't know Isaac.
Well,
yeah.
And for what he's accomplishing, because his job eventually at the P&E, because he worked there a long time,
yeah.
was to just make sure everything was going fine. He'd walk around, make sure no one was stealing, no one was causing any trouble.
Okay.
So I think Pesci is the right, because someone's small but scary.
Okay. So here's the next one. Who's going to play, or tell us, before I say that, tell us a little bit about this Nick Marino guy.
Yeah, tell us about Nick.
Well, let me tell you. I'll tell
Major
you something.
character in the book.
So I know you guys are doing this sort of as like a fun thing, like, hey, if we make this a movie.
Yeah.
That is my plan. That is my goal. So
It should be, actually.
Yeah.
Say in all sincerity. Yeah.
so my daughter, who is a playwright, my daughter and I are going to write a screenplay.
Fantastic.
Wow.
I talked to someone who actually, this sounds, if I don't give this, it'll sound bigger than it is. But her kid goes to my school. So I was talking to her, and she helps independent Canadian movies get made.
Okay.
And she thought it had a good chance. But she said the one thing against it is it being set in the 80s makes it a lot more expensive.
Yeah.
I guess
You've got to
make
change
it look,
everything to look authentic. Yeah.
but she said that right now, like very local things are good. Like if it's hyper local, that's things that are getting funding. In Canada, you need funding from the government to make anything.
Right.
So, and then she said, why don't you and your daughter just write a screenplay and see where it's going? So, saying all that, if I were to make this a movie, there would be no Nick Marino character in it.
Okay.
Because, again, going back to the Stolen Valor, not from here, I think it'd be more interesting to have the main kid actually someone who grew up right by the P&E.
Okay.
So I'd call him Anthony or something like that.
Okay.
And he would, and I would, who would play him? It'd have to be someone who's a little bit, like, the way I wrote myself. It's funny writing yourself in a book too, right? Because you're like,
Of course.
how do I make myself a likable character? What should I leave out and put in my life to make it's not only because I want people to like me, but I want people to like the book. Like you want to like the characters in a book, right? So, let's see, who would I
life
want?
is a bit of a sales job about yourself, right? You're trying to present yourself in a certain way.
Exactly. Well, who do you guys have for the character? Because I'd keep him the same personality as me, but I would change the name because I don't want people to...
We were going, just out on the street, Adam Sandler.
Oh. No.
Some of his serious roles, right? Think of some of his
Younger,
Yeah, you
tougher,
know what?
not his,
I just feel
idiotic
like...
films.
You know what? Why I would say no is I feel like I don't have... Like, Adam Sandler has that bottled... explosiveness that makes him great, and I don't have that.
Right. Okay.
It'd have to be someone that's a little bit. Okay, I would go for like a Paul Rudd.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
but,
I like
but
that.
a Paul Rudd
Yeah.
in a
Yep.
not playing it funny, just playing it straight.
Yeah.
And
I see that.
And we came up with these never having met you. Now that we've met you, I totally see Paul Rudd.
Yeah.
Right. I totally see that. Yeah.
Hey, I heard a fun fact about Paul Rudd the other day.
Okay.
Paul Rudd and John Hamm knew each other growing up. They were friends, and they dated the same girl. Like,
No way.
I think they were both like sexiest man in the world. I'd like to see who that girl is. Yeah. She'd probably look at her husband
Yeah, I
like, "Oh
knew
my
that.
God, I went out with two of the sexiest men in the world. I'm stuck with you."
So kind of keeping with that, and if Nick's in it, or if you have a new character for yourself, I think it's always based on a true story. So keeping with that, let's say we tweaked it a bit, and it was partly because of my crush on Gloria Makarenko. There's a bit of a romance in this story between Nick
me and Gloria Makarenko.
Yeah. We've got to sell this, right?
Yeah.
Hollywood wants to hear something here
Yeah.
that will sell. So who would play Gloria Makarenko in that situation?
Okay, so I think we can all agree that Gloria Makarenko is a very beautiful woman.
Yes.
And was. So we'd have to, I don't want to just cast it purely on looks. But if it's someone that I have to be...
Yes.
You're going to get in trouble.
I don't know here. Like, I feel like I'm drawing a blank. Let's see what you guys have.
I put down Anne Hathaway.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you know what? I think that really works.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Anne Hathaway is very pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she seems very smart.
Really smart. Really
Yeah.
smart.
And
right?
and there's nothing about her that comes across as sort of like overly sexual. Like she seems to be getting by on her on her acting.
Yeah.
I don't mean that. I hope I'm not sounding
No,
negative towards women.
She's
but
an
like some
attractive
women
person.
get by,
Yeah.
some actresses and some actors get by on their sexuality,
Yeah.
which I don't think Anne Hathaway. I don't think there's a lot of men that love Anne Hathaway or Gwyneth Paltrow. I think they're more the type of women that women.
Yeah, they're strong.
Think-
They're strong
Yeah.
people,
It's
right?
true.
Yeah.
And I think that's a
They're
good
strong characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we need every good movie has a good soundtrack.
Okay.
We would like you to give us 4 songs that
Oh, I
you
love
think
this.
need to be on the soundtrack for this movie.
Okay. So, as a lifelong fan of The Clash, I would have to have a Clash song in there.
Okay.
And I think there's the obvious ones which I wouldn't choose, like the hits. And I don't know how well, but as a Billy Bragg fan, I see you've got a Billy Bragg
Yeah,
T-shirt on. I
yeah.
think you probably know The Clash pretty well, is my guess. So I think I would
Yes.
go with Rudy Can't Fail.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, because I've always felt like that song represents everything the Clash does well in one song, except maybe Anger. But I think that song, because there's a joyfulness about it that I think would really suit the midway scenes and all that kind of thing.
Okay.
So that would be one for
Okay,
sure.
All
excellent.
right.
I think I would need something kind of sad in there, maybe.
Okay.
And this is maybe a deep cut that people maybe don't know, but there's this REM song on that album they had with What's the Frequency, Kenneth. I think it came
Yeah.
out in like '93.
Yes.
Okay.
Monster, I think
Yeah,
it's called.
okay, yeah.
There's a song in there called Tongue, which he sings in a falsetto, and it's a very kind of emotive song, I would say.
Okay.
So I would want that in
I'm
there
loving
at some
these.
point.
These are
Yeah.
great. Yeah.
I think because I talk about some of the concerts that happened at the Peony, I think it would be great to include some of that stuff.
A Motley Crue song.
Yeah.
I always think tell the story
Okay,
about.
so this is Eric. We're going back to
Yeah,
Eric.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, and he ended up in the book The Dirt about Motley Crue. I believe he did. He was, like I say, he was a big tough guy, and he was a huge Motley Crue fan. Yeah. So let's put in a Motley Crue song. Let's
Okay.
put in
Okay.
like Girls, Girls, Girls.
Okay.
Because
Okay. Yeah.
and I
Okay.
say that one because that was written in Vancouver. Inspired by the sign at the Cobalt that used to say "Girls, Girls,
Okay.
Girls." They were
Oh.
recording an album here.
Okay.
I say all this, not a Motley Crue fan. I don't.
No.
I don't want anyone to think that. I grew up where it was like, and you guys as well. Like music, there was more like strict lines drawn. Like you're on this side or that
Absolutely,
Yeah.
it was.
side. Where
Yeah.
it isn't that way now
No, it's
because
not.
everything's free. Like
Yeah.
before. Because you paid for it, you had to defend it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
You go to someone's house, you look
Yeah.
at their records, and you'd be like, "You bought this?"
Yeah.
You know, and then the guy'd have to defend it. Right? But now you can just stream whatever you want.
And because of that, now you can tell songs from the 80s, the 90s. It had its time. But after the 90s, because everything's just streamed, there's no distinctive genre that you go, that's that sound.
Yeah,
from that
I wonder
era.
if that's that, or if it's just that we're old and we don't know. Like, because my wife and I were talking about,
Okay.
like, I was saying,
I'm not going to accept that.
no, and
You're
I've
probably right,
continuously
though.
listened to new music
Yeah.
my whole life.
Yeah.
But like, say with fashion, if someone's like, "Hey, we're gonna dress like the '90s," like at your school, have they ever done like '90s day and they dress
Yeah.
up? I can't tell. I don't know if that's different from what I'm wearing now. You know what I mean?
It's probably the same in ways.
Yeah. So, I'm sorry, I got
Motley Crue.
Motley
Let's go back to that.
Crue.
Yeah. Oh,
The
yeah.
story,
So,
So tell the listeners about the Motley Crue story.
played in Vancouver at the Pacific Coliseum. Very first song, Vince Neil's out there. I think he was singing. I can't remember what song it was, but I did look it up because there's a setlist.fm
Okay.
where you can go on and they'll give you a set list from like
Oh, wow.
all these shows, and I think it was on there. Anyway, while he's up there, Eric was like front row up there. I think with our friend Enner was up there as well, and Vince Neil planted his foot. That's the lead singer of Motley Crue.
Yes.
Planted his foot right at the edge of the stage and was singing. And Eric, I remember he said to me, he goes, "Oh my God, Nick, he was such a pencil neck. I put my hand completely all the way around his ankle." So just in that moment when he grabbed his ankle, he was like, "Oh my God." He was like disgusted by this pathetic pencil neck. So he just grabbed him and threw him into the audience, and they had to stop the show. in the first song, and then the bouncers dragged him out and beat him up and threw him outside. But yeah,
They throw him down the
yeah.
stairs.
And I
Okay.
remember after the show, maybe a couple days later, our friend Enner, who was there as well, like, you know what this guy did? He grabbed Vince Neil and threw him off the stage. But yeah,
And it's mentioned in a book about Motley Crue. You said
Yeah, that's
they
what I was
actually
told,
referred to-
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. All right.
okay,
We
we
need
got
one more song.
One more
oh,
song.
right, okay. So we've got the Clash, we've got the sort of sad one, we've got the Motley
Motley
Crue to set
Crue.
the scene, and then okay, so it's the '80s. So I think we need. Oh, we got to put the Cure in there.
Okay.
I think we
yeah,
put the Cure in there,
absolutely.
and I'm kind of a stickler for. I don't like watching a movie where a song came out after the movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
Like
do-
it
I
takes
do
me
know.
right out of it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it would have to be an earlier Cure thing. You know what? I think, although it's a bit on the nose, I think "Boys Don't Cry."
Okay.
Okay.
I think "Boys Don't Cry" is really still one of my favorite one of their songs.
Yes.
And I think there's a part in it where I break up with my girlfriend, and then I just regret it for like the whole summer.
Mm-hmm.
I tell her I want the summer off, and then she's like, "Fine, let's just take the whole, let's just break up." And then I just regret it immediately.
Yeah.
And I think for that section, I think "Boys Don't Cry" would
Okay,
suit it.
perfect.
Okay. I
Yeah.
like that. All right.
And who will direct this movie? You mentioned
Well, I would want-
Train Spotting, Danny Boyle, or
I mean,
what do you think?
my dream would be Richard Linklater, who
Oh,
directed
yeah,
Dazed and
oh,
Confused. As
yeah,
I said, that
yeah, yeah.
when I
Okay.
wrote this book,
Uh-huh.
Dazed and Confused was my biggest influence as far as how I wanted it to feel.
I love his films.
So that's who I would want.
Okay.
I put down Greg Moda.
And
He
who-
did Adventureland
Oh yeah, yeah.
and Superbad.
Oh my God, Superbad!
So-
Superbad is that's my wife's favorite movie.
Yeah.
My favorite movie is Dazed and Confused. And then my favorite comedy is Dumb and Dumber.
Okay.
Just get that out there. My two favorite movies, Dazed and Confused and Dumb and Dumber, and I stand by them. But yeah, I love Superbad, and I think they just capture that stuff perfectly. Yeah, I mean, so yeah, he would be great too because I'd love it to feel like that.
I always loved Boyhood by Richard Linklater.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And it's just that
Okay.
the way they filmed that
Yeah.
once a year for decades, I think. Yeah.
Okay. So I have I wouldn't call it a surprise, but I have a
It
little
goes back to your fair going
goes
days
back
in
to my
Ontario.
fair going
Okay.
days. My brother was in Demolition Derby.
Oh, wow.
And in small town Wallacestown.
Yeah.
He listens sometimes, so shout out to my brother, who I don't know how he did it because every year he would look for the perfect car.
Yeah.
And he'd get the welding torches out and he'd get it all fixed up and ready to go. He won once.
Oh wow, yeah.
But I know right now he's a year younger than me that he feels it in the body.
Oh yeah. I was going to ask you about that because did they even have shoulder straps at that point, or?
I think that you had to have a seat, like a strap.
Okay,
Like you
okay,
had
good.
to have something built in that
And
way.
they-
He feels the results of that time in his body now.
I
Really?
mean, he works really hard, but he's just got aches and pains. As long as he moves, he's fine. He
Well,
sits
it's
down
like-
and
Imagine, like, say you were in a car accident, right?
Yeah.
Those guys are in 25 accidents the whole,
Yeah.
a day.
Yeah.
When they're
I
doing
didn't know
that,
how
it's
he did it.
insane.
Okay,
Yeah.
so here you go. I'm presenting. Martin's going to describe it for me.
Okay, so just for
I
the
have-
listeners, he's got it
Oh,
looks like
love it.
a ribbon. It's a purple ribbon, and what does it say? It says where is it?
Wallacestown Fair.
Wallacestown Fair, second place.
Second place.
So
Is
I-
this the second place for the demolition derby?
Well, no.
We have to
no,
guess.
This is second place for something at a fair. Now, I brought this because in the book,
Okay.
I remember the picture of the women with hammers and the competition for hammering
Yes.
nails, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
They were getting housewives to
For the
see.
housewives
it's
to
like,
hammer
haha,
nails.
Let's see if a woman
So-
can use a hammer.
I'm going to give you three.
Well,
Yeah.
let's,
We'll see.
let's see.
Okay, so
What did I get?
Oh, you did this. Okay.
What? So I did
Roy
this.
Hunt won. What
I
year-
got
what year-
second
what
place
year, Roy, would this
at
be?
Wallacestown Fair.
And by
I'm not
Mr.
telling the
Hunt.
year
Okay.
because then people will know how old I am.
Okay.
But I'm going to say I was 8 years old.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, 8 years old. I mean, that kind of pushes things down.
So you've kept this for 70 years. Wow.
I love working with you.
Okay, can I ask a couple
younger.
questions?
Oh, you can ask some questions. Okay.
Did you grow up in like a small town farm area for a small, like what,
Yes,
what was it?
I was in a farming community.
Okay. So I'm going to guess that this was some kind of so an agricultural fair kind of thing. So maybe you had like. I bet at that age boys weren't cooking things, so I don't think it was like for
a giant
for a
carrot.
pie or anything like that. So I think it was like some kind of animal. I think it's animal related.
Be careful.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't really know what those things. I'm going to say you raised like a prize pig.
Wow.
It's connected to a pig,
It's
right?
connected to a pig.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
Martin, deep down inside, was hoping that it would be like second place for growing the largest zucchini
Yeah.
because Martin's being the big gardener. But you're close. It's related to a pig.
Wow,
It's okay.
That's good
so
for the first guess.
Yeah.
okay, so I'm going to guess it's fun in this fair. Now this is wrong, but did you ride a pig? Was there like pig races?
A pig race? No.
No. Related to a pig. Oh, no. I was at a fair before where if you guessed the weight of the pig, they killed it and cut it up and you won the pig. It was in Coombs like about 10 years ago on Vancouver Island.
You won the pig.
No, that would have been cool.
Oh my god.
Pork for the season.
Oh, you're really close.
Yeah.
What could you do with a pig? What could you do? What could you win a prize that you had to do something to that pig?
Oh, you pinned it. You wrestled a pig and you pinned the pig.
Actually, I'm going to say that's as close as you're going to get.
Yeah. Okay.
I chased the pig. It was a greased pig
Oh, a
contest.
greased pig.
So they
Okay.
greased them up, and you had the fastest one to catch a pig. And I chased that little sucker down, and it was all covered in bacon grease, probably.
Yeah, exactly.
And I caught it. I got second place, and when you
Second
think,
place because someone did it faster than
someone
you?
did
Is
it
that why?
faster than me.
Okay.
Yeah, but the thing is, when you think about, all right, it's like hammering a nail into a
Yeah.
board or catching a pig. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what people had to do, right?
Yeah.
The pigs got loose. You had to catch a pig.
I mean, it would be fun. Now, as a vegetarian, I'm going to say I don't think we should be doing that. But right now, if they set up a little pen and me, you, and Martin tried to catch a pig,
I'd be into that.
We'd be laughing our heads off.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the whole pen area, they poured water all, so it's mud. So we were more of a spectacle. I mean, like grandparents and mums and dads were there just laughing at us because
For sure.
People falling face first, all covered in mud,
Yeah.
chasing this.
I'm just
What a
thinking a
hoot,
way
right?
we could do this humanely is we could draw straws and grease one of us up, and the other two could try and catch it.
Give me a whole new TikTok.
Yeah.
My God.
Yeah.
Right?
Wow.
Yeah.
If we want viewers, I think that's
Yeah, retired greaser, it could be called.
There you go.
And then
There you
you
go.
just
It's like a mud wrestling competition.
So before we wrap up, and the sun is coming out now,
It's amazing.
It's become
Yeah.
a beautiful day while we speak. Nick, do you have any future projects planned or things coming up? You wrote
Yeah.
this fabulous book. I really recommend listeners to get a copy
Yes.
of this.
Yeah.
Where can they find a copy, first of all?
Well, I mean, before it came out in 2023, so
Yeah.
it was in all the bookstores. It was very
Yeah.
exciting. I went
Yeah.
into
Yeah.
chapters on Robson, or I guess it's called Indigo now,
Yeah.
and they had like 40 of them there. It was like,
That was
and
cool.
the hot new picks,
That would-
and,
that-
and it was all over. So it was really exciting. Now, not so much. You could get it. You could order it online for
Okay,
sure.
yeah,
I would
yeah.
say not from Amazon.
Yeah.
Not only because hey, they're not being nice to us
Yeah.
right now, right?
Yep,
So
yep.
I
Yeah.
would prefer if you're in Vancouver, go to a local bookstore. Iron Dog Books on Hastings, right by the Peony, has been
Okay.
really great to me.
Okay.
So that's be a place that I'd recommend you pick it up.
Yeah.
But you could order it online for sure.
And we'll have a link to the book and everything on our webpage,
Yeah. Yep.
stuntbrothers.ca, so people can check it out
And
there.
you know what? Take it out of the library.
Yeah.
In the end, I
Yeah.
think I might make just as much there.
Really?
You get paid for library books.
yeah. Okay.
And you don't get paid much for books. Like
No.
You get money up front, and
Yeah.
then after that, after you sell a certain amount, you make a little bit more.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people don't make any more than what their upfront money was. So
Right,
the little
right.
bit of money you get from the library.
Yeah.
But whatever, I don't
Exciting.
care about the money now. I'm just happy that people are still reading this book.
So any future projects?
Yeah, so future one, very related to this book. Do you guys remember there was a chapter in here where I talked about my great-grandfather and how he was the richest Italian
Yes.
in Vancouver,
Yeah.
and then he got murdered?
Yeah.
Yes.
So the publisher asked me to write another book about my family.
Okay.
So right now I'm writing a book about my family who came from Italy. I'm Italian 100% Italian, but all my grandparents met in Vancouver. So I'm actually from 4 different parts of Italy.
Oh, wow.
But I'm following the roots from Abruzzo, Italy, where my great-grandfather came over, left there in the 1890s, was in Vancouver by about 1905, was murdered in 1914. So I'm just following the family up until now. And there's been lots of interesting characters in my family, just like you have the characters here. I think I've got some characters from my family. There's some things people would know, like very hyper-specific things, but Richards on Richards was run by my second cousin, John Tetti, who also owned Puccini's restaurant.
Oh.
Okay.
And then he also started the Shark Club. And his brother ran some other clubs as well.
Okay.
I have some second cousins that have run Benny's Market in Strathcona since 1919. It's been in the family. So there's that stuff, and then just a lot of... if you look at 120 years of a family history, you're going to find interesting stories.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm working on right now.
And truth is more interesting than fiction, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I always pictured myself writing fiction. I always wanted to write.
Yeah.
And writing nonfiction is a lot of work because it's so much research and interview and transcribing and all that kind of thing. But I do agree that had I made up these stories in the book about the Peonies book about, Red riding the roller coaster with no seatbelt and changing the seats mid-ride, it would be like, yeah, but no one really did that. But
Right. Yeah. No, they
he did that.
He did
And
that.
I've had it confirmed by several people
Yes.
that they
Yeah.
know that happened.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So that book will be coming out a year from now.
Oh, fantastic.
It'll also be on Arsenal. I don't have a title for it. I mean, I'd have a title, but I haven't cleared it with
Yeah.
Right.
with
Okay.
them yet. Yeah.
Okay.
So one of the things, because in our podcast, we connect with teachers and we talk about having some work-life balance, talk about, because teaching can be all-consuming, it's just trying to find a passion after teaching. And I am amazed that knowing that you are a teacher, especially grade 4 or 5, which, Martin and I finished our careers in that grade. It's an amazing grade, but you still have some gas in the tank,
Yeah.
right? To be able to write or follow a passion.
Yeah.
And I love that. And I hope our listeners connect with that as teachers, but there's more to than just teaching, right? Because
Yeah.
it can be
Really important.
an all-encompassing, it can suck the marrow from your bones kind
Yeah.
of thing if you let it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been great. It's I feel very grateful to have given this chance later in life. When that book was published, I was like 56, 57, 56, I think, when it came out. I had kind of given up on the idea that I was going to be a writer. I always wanted to be,
Yeah. Yeah.
But writing is one of those things that you don't have to be in shape to do. Like if you were a good athlete, and then you can't at 56 try out
Yep.
for the Lions or something,
Yep.
right? So now it's like this. I wouldn't say second career, but when I retire, I know that what I'll do is
Yeah.
I'll keep writing, and I've got ideas for other books, and
Yeah.
I want to write things that aren't as hyper-specific to Vancouver, so I get invited to writers' festivals in Montreal or something like that. You know what I mean?
No,
Yeah.
your story's inspiring. I mean, I started a novel 20 years ago, and I only finished it this last year of retirement.
Oh, congratulations.
So I find it,
Yeah.
And I'm going to rewrite it and blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah. It just got pushed off to the side, and
Yeah.
so I'm so grateful now to have time every day in my day
Yeah.
that it's my writing time, right? 'Cause
Yeah.
it's hard work. It's,
I'll
it's
tell
not
you,
easy.
a deadline really
Yeah.
helps,
Yeah.
but it hurts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's painful.
Yeah.
I've spent this whole summer just writing because my first draft is due in November.
Okay.
And my dad has been in the hospital since February. He's been quite sick. He's just moved into a hospice. So I haven't had the time or energy during school time. After, teaching all day, going to the hospital, going home and eating, 8 o'clock at night, I don't feel like writing.
Yeah.
So all
No.
summer, it's just been like, I've been like, hey,
Yeah.
this is my job. I get up 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
I'm writing or researching or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And before we went on air, you mentioned you had another idea for your last year of teaching. Can you share that with
Sure.
us? So that just
as long as there's a lot of teachers listening, so don't steal this idea.
Okay.
Okay. But They
They don't have your drive, so it's okay.
yeah. A lot of people actually listen to this and think, I'm not going to steal that. That's stupid.
What a great idea.
The idea for my hopefully third book would be called the year I tried at my job.
Okay.
And
I love the title. I love the title.
At that point, I will have been teaching probably for like 35 years, I think, in that range. So my idea is for my very last year of teaching to think about what really makes a great teacher.
Yeah.
Think about what I thought I was going to be as a teacher when I first started.
Yeah.
And you know, obviously I haven't measured up to those things in my life. I don't think many teachers do, right? There are some of those that do, but then also work-life balance. Like, what are they doing?
Yeah.
So the idea is that I'm going to do my very best instead of just fading away like some people do when they retire. I'm going to try the hardest I've ever tried in my last year of teaching, which I think will be funny. I vow to learn what the letters mean when they say like, this kid is a Q. And I'm like, what is that?
You don't have to look it up.
Right, it's there.
Yeah,
right
yeah.
at my fingertips.
Actually, Q is what I know. Most of them I don't know.
No, you got to look it up each time.
So I'm gonna try to be the very best teacher that I possibly can, and then write about that. And it'll give me an excuse to also write about a lot of fun teaching stories that I've had over the years.
Yeah.
And I'll also interview other teachers and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, all my stuff I write is somewhat in the humor vein. I want it to be funny.
Yeah.
So I want to put some of the funny stories I have in.
Well, thank you. We really appreciate you coming on.
This was
this is
amazing.
great.
This is actually going to be the first episode of season 2.
Oh, great.
It's going to come out on Labor Day, September.
Oh, right.
September 1st, I believe. And we're kicking off with you on our season 2. And we've made it a bit like a job. We're loving it. But we managed to get it out every Monday. This
awesome.
podcast, we've been consistent and treating it like something like we have deadlines. And, and like you say, with a deadline, you kind of feel the pressure, but you need a bit of pressure in life, right?
Yes,
so
for sure.
we really appreciate having you on.
Yeah,
Yes.
well, congratulations
Thank you.
on getting through your second season, sticking to it, and thanks a lot for having me on. This was super fun. All these opportunities that have come from the book, I love, and I don't take them for granted. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, Mr. Hunt, I can see by the clock on the wall we have 10 minutes to go.
Yes,
10 minutes till 4 o'clock.
Until 4 o'clock.
Tell us, what does that mean? Tell us what that means.
Okay, well, we're set up. We're good to go. We're here at North Point Brewery in North Vancouver.
Great location.
Great location. We're on their second floor, their tasting room. They've graciously provided us with
great
this space.
people, to provide us for this celebration that we're holding today.
And we have an amazing view from here.
Look at that. That's wow. And
Vancouver City. This is great.
It's just amazing. And we're here celebrating because it's our final summer session. So summer session 9.
That's right. Episode 30 from our first season.
And 32 if I'd done the math right earlier.
32 with the AB that we added
exactly.
when we were traveling.
But the big thing is it's the finale of season 1.
That's right.
Season 2 will start on Labor Day, right? So here we are having this celebration. We've invited the world.
Yes. And I remember way back at possibly our first episode.
Okay.
And we were in the booth in the North Vancouver City Library. And one of the lines we said, this podcast is organic. And when I think about what's going to happen soon, I think that's probably as organic as you can
get. We
get.
have finally hit the organic moment, which means it could go anywhere.
That's right. Certified organic.
And when you invite people to a celebration, you provide beer and other alcohol and an open mic. Who knows what we'll hear?
That's right.
But this is podcasting, and filters are only good for CBC radio.
And editing is well within our means.
Absolutely.
Right?
But I think it's great that we have this, and I'm really excited about having people come and join us here to celebrate what's been a fantastic season 1.
It has been.
It's been beyond expectations, and we're so excited about season 2. So that's why we're holding this today.
That's right. And we have 5 minutes on the clock now, and I'd like to go buy you a beer.
Oh, I'm into that.
Okay.
I say cheers to that, my friend.
All right. So
well,
we can do that.
Here we are again back at North Point. And,
North Point Brewing.
We just had a little chat with some of our guests here.
And a beer.
And a beer, yeah. We even have our guest from the end of the summer sessions, Nick.
Yes.
Nick Marino, right? He's here. So he came back after
I
we
know,
had him
it's
on.
rare because sometimes you say, or me, I would say something that maybe our guest is like, I don't think I'll ever come back. But he came back.
He came back, right? So that's a good sign.
Yes.
We got Normal over there.
Yep.
Normand doesn't want to come on the mic, but wave, Normand. Hey, there he is. Can you hear the wave?
Yeah, you can see the wave.
We talked with Normand. We taught with him many years ago at Dorothy Linus. So
Yep.
one of the people that go back to that time when we were at Dorothy Linus that we've spoken about in previous episodes.
There we go.
So we'll just go mingle a bit.
We'll mingle, come back.
We'll see if
and
somebody wants to come onto the
see
mic.
if someone wants to say something.
I've heard Nick might want to come back and tell us life story. So hear more.
I have a feeling that when he does come and he's going to give his life story, shut the computer off.
Yeah, but his
But
wife's
don't
here.
tell
She
him.
seems far more interesting.
Yes.
So the celebration's going great, right, Mr.
yes,
Hunt?
it is. Yes, it is. We're doing very well.
And we have someone at the hot mic.
The hot
Wow.
There he is.
I can't believe I'm seeing this in person. I've like
Yeah, I
heard it
know.
in my headphones for
You
a
can't
year.
believe it. You're actually here,
Yeah.
right?
There.
You actually,
Yep.
you've you're putting a face to the voices.
For the first time, really. Yeah.
So we have some questions. All right. Because it's a podcast about education, about for teachers. And so what's it like to be the son of a teacher?
Oh.
I guess we should tell the listeners who we have here. We have Josh Stubel here. Joshua Stubel. I
Who's
always
that?
call him Joshua. People say Josh. I go, who's Josh? It is my son. So I guess he is the son of a teacher.
Hi, everybody.
He's been on a podcast before. He's also a great, what would I say, sound engineer for people's production? What title would you like to use for yourself that would be appropriate?
Amateur sound engineer.
Okay. He's very humble. Very humble. So, ask your question again.
Okay. So the question is, what's it like to be the son or the child of a teacher?
Well, I guess it really depends, the proximity effect of the teacher, because for me, it was the same school. So,
It's right,
Yeah.
right? Not at first, but then we were at Upper Lynn.
Yes.
And you had your dad at the school.
and then we were flying pretty close to the sun,
Was that awkward?
literally. No, actually, no. In reality, not at all. I don't know.
No. And even because I was still doing grade 7 when you were in grade 7, right?
But you refused to teach me.
Yes.
Though
Yeah.
didn't I? No, not yeah. But didn't I teach you PE? We switched to
Yeah,
teacher night.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I still had you in grade 7.
A little bit.
Yeah. I gave you an A, didn't I?
Do you get grades in PE?
Yeah, you did.
I
Yeah.
do not remember.
You-
But no, it was totally fine. It was great.
Well, you know, it's interesting because both my daughters
Yeah.
went to this same school that I taught
Ridgeway.
at Ridgeway.
Wow.
And it's their experience was a positive experience
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
I guess it would be very difficult if the student population didn't like your
Right.
mother or father who was a teacher. That I think that would be really,
Yeah.
that would be very difficult to navigate through.
Mr. Stubel had a great reputation. If anything, it was a halo effect.
Well,
it
okay.
rubbed off on me. Yeah.
Well, I can remember I was in the same situation where I was teaching grade 7, and my daughter Camille came to me and she said, "Dad, all my friends think you're an amazing teacher, and they want to be in your class, and I'd like to be in your class." And
Oh.
I looked at her and I said, "No." And I went down to grade 4. And so there was an opening, and I left grade 7 and
Yeah.
went to grade 4, and I didn't have to teach her. But my other daughter was in grade 4, but she definitely did not want to be in my class, so I didn't have a problem.
It worked out.
Did it make you want to be a teacher watching me? Didn't you just you gave up that?
No.
You decided I'm going to give up that dream and become a sound engineer.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I thought I'd be better suited to producing podcasts.
I see. I
Yep.
see. Okay.
And we have been able to utilize your expertise in producing podcasts to help us out.
Oh, it's true.
That's true.
I've tried to help where I can.
Yeah, he absolutely has, and it's like you're my go-to guy. I can just send you a message any time of day, and
Day and
it's like,
night.
it's like you instantly work for me. You right away give me a response and solve my problem. So I appreciate it.
And I keep on sending the bills in the mail, but I don't know, they never get paid.
I think you're going to the old address, so it's all right.
He's been sending them to me, and I've been shredding them.
Oh, okay. Well, at least that explains that.
Well, thank you. We really appreciate this, and we wish you all the best. Thanks for coming to our celebration and getting ready for season 2.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Thanks for having me.
So, this is going well. North Point, once again, a big shout out to North Point.
Big shout out to North Point Brewing.
They're here on First Street, 200 block First Street, and they're just a fabulous establishment here in North Vancouver. And we encourage our listeners to come check them out.
Check them out. And they come here, we won't be here. No.
Not this time. We'll do this again. And we have with us a kindergarten teacher who's come to. Yeah. Charlene is a kindergarten teacher.
Hi, Charlene.
Hi, Roy.
And it's August, and a lot of people think, oh, teachers, they're still on their summer vacation, right? They're not really getting ready for school. They're off till Labor Day. They don't start till September 2nd. They're still on holiday. Charlene, is that true?
Definitely not.
No. Okay, why?
I think I've been thinking about my next year since June.
Wow. Did you find when it became August, did you kind of get a little feeling in your stomach?
There's a little feeling that happens on August 1st that's the impending doom of the next school year. And yet hopeful. There's so much hope. There's next year's going to be the year. Next year's the year that I do it right.
Oh, okay. So when have you been in school yet?
I have not.
Okay.
I intend to on Monday.
On Monday, okay. Because I had this thing where I like to do, I would just go into the school. It's kind of like, when you go to a lake and you dip your toe in. I like doing that. So I would walk into the classroom, look at the furniture, and go home.
I drag furniture, I look at furniture, I set it all up, and then I organize something strange that it has nothing to do with the whole setup, take a photo of the whole thing, go home, and then come back the next day with, these are the changes I need to make.
So you go for the full swim.
Full swim
Full
the
immersion.
second day.
So what's going to be different this year? It's going to make it the best year ever.
Do you know what the change is?
What?
I got a label maker.
Wow.
I can't even say it. Label maker. And that will make all the difference in the whole world.
Label their heads, their foreheads.
Exactly. I will label everything. Go this way, go that. Here, this is for you, this is not for you. It will all be labeled.
Nice.
Well, we appreciate you being a loyal listener to After the Bell and coming out to our celebration about season 2. So thank you, Charlene, and thanks to everyone here who's joining us tonight. We got people even from Japan here.
Yes, we do.
We
We have a lot of listeners from Japan.
There's a lot of Japanese going on. Here we have a teacher who has retired recently.
Hi, my name's Fred.
Fred and I go way back, right? We were 19 when we first met.
I didn't have any gray hair at that time.
We haven't changed, though.
At all. Absolutely not.
And Fred, you're still TOCing a bit?
Yeah, maybe 1 or 2 days a week.
And is that enough?
That's enough for me, absolutely, especially kindergarten. 1 day of kindergarten every month is good enough.
And for many years, didn't you teach French in Vancouver?
Yeah, I was a French teacher in Vancouver, a teacher librarian in Vancouver for a number of years, yep.
Anything else you want to say to the listeners?
Hey, sign up for this wonderful podcast. I mean, it's awesome. International reach. It's great.
Thank you. Appreciate it. So we're another celebration guest here. We're really appreciative. We have a dear old friend here, Normand Ponton.
Yes,
right?
indeed, with Martin Stubel and Roy Hunt.
Yes.
Hi, Normand.
Hi, Roy.
We go back to Dorothy Linus,
We do.
25 years, maybe,
At
even
least.
more.
Yeah, I left in 2000.
Wow. Oh, so 25. It's
Yeah.
so 25 years ago is when you.
Yeah,
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. We haven't changed a bit.
He hasn't
No.
changed at all. His hair's a little longer.
He's got a great set of hair right now. Like it's just, it's a rock star hairstyle.
Well, thank you. I'll take it.
Now you're still TOC-ing, right? TTOC.
Yeah.
How many T's are there now? TTTOC.
TOC.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good way of keeping in touch with a bunch of people like you guys that I've known for so many years,
Yes.
decades.
Yeah.
I still like teaching. Some days are easier than others, but that's always been the game anyway. And teaching's not supposed to be easy. It's
No,
just,
it's a hard job. Actually.
It is a hard job.
Yeah, yeah. But do you enjoy most of your days?
Most days, yeah. It's I go on, Roy. You're going to jump in.
Well, I was going to say, I know the days that you enjoy the most are the days that you and I are in the same staff room when we're teaching at the same school.
Exactly.
That's always worth a good laugh.
Good point. Good point. Go on.
No, I was going to say, I guess the nice thing about TOCing is if you're not happy with the place, you go, I'm not going back there.
That's very much so.
Yeah.
It's there's a variety of reasons that I will keep to myself for, what makes me decide to go to this classroom or not. Yeah. So I do enjoy that. It keeps you actual. It keeps you relevant, purposeful.
Yes, yeah. It's a noble profession. It really is teaching, I think, right?
Yeah.
You can hold your head up high when you're a teacher.
Many thoughts come to mind when
okay.
you say that.
Yes, yeah.
But it's still a very rewarding, relevant endeavor to be in that profession. Yeah.
Yeah, well, thank
Getting
you.
too deep here.
No, I love it, right? And I think as a retired teacher, as we both are, it feels good to look back on a career that was teaching. Like I think we both can hold our heads up high knowing
Yes.
we did that. Like,
Yeah.
It was. I don't know if other jobs have that.
Yeah.
Some do, but not. I don't think the same level that teaching does. And I think it's as you get older, when you look back on what you did, it's quite satisfying. Thank you, Nomal Ponton. We
My
appreciate
pleasure.
this. We really appreciate you coming out, and we just think you're a great human being. So
Yeah, well, thank you. Likewise, you guys.
Yeah. Love you, man.
Likewise. Take care.
Okay, here we go. Cheers, everyone. Cheers, Nick.
Cheers. I left my beer.
Steve,
I'll
go get your beer.
Go
Go get your beer. There you
You won't
go.
have to share the mic.
Jeannie, I thought you were coming on with that.
We have our Nick is going to be our guest. No one knows this yet because this is the final summer session. But Nick is going to be our guest for our episode 1 of season 2, and he's here at our celebration with his brother-in-law. Steve. I know.
Steve, this is Martin and Roy.
Hi, Martin. Hi, Roy.
I said to Martin, it says like alcohol and live microphones. What could go wrong?
I was just remembering whether it was brother-in-law or brother, but no, it's brother-in-law.
Brother-in-law,
That's what was going. The wheels were turning in my slow brain.
You just have to look at our bodies and you can see that we're not related.
But the funny thing is, they're both teachers, right?
Yeah.
They
True.
both are,
Yeah.
right?
True.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey, before we go on, we just want to say congratulations on your first year.
Thank
or
you.
first
Yes.
season.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We appreciate
It's
that.
a
Yeah.
lot.
Thank you.
Because you guys
Congratulations.
stuck to doing it every week, and that's tough to do.
Yeah.
It is.
You know.
And
so-
we still like each other.
Yeah.
I know.
You're going to do a season
It's going to make season 2 even better.
But we were committed to every Monday getting it out,
Yeah.
being consistent, and everything we read said if you can do that, it becomes more legitimate when it's in
Yeah.
the streaming services out there.
And it
Yeah.
sounds so professional. I've
Yeah,
listened
thank
to
you.
some of the
Thank you.
episodes.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you.
Oh, this is
wow.
just building our egos up. I love it. Well,
So what are we? What are we talking about?
This is a whatever kind of conversation.
whatever.
So
Steve, we were not to put you on the spot, but think about this.
Yeah.
We were talking about like who your favorite teacher is and
Yes.
why.
Why?
Yes.
Yeah.
So do you guys want me to go first?
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
then you can think about it. You guys can say yours.
Are
too,
we,
right?
Yeah,
are we
I-
supposed to mention their full names?
You
and
can
everything?
absolutely.
Yeah, I
That's-
think when we do
I mean,
who's the teacher that you think was the biggest pervert.
yeah,
We don't have to change their names. We don't have to change
maybe we don't say those ones.
For favorites,
It's your
okay.
favorite
We're pretty
teacher, right?
safe.
I think favorite perverts were okay, yeah.
Okay.
So,
Favorite pervert?
Editing going to happen now.
and you can't vote for yourself.
Oh, my levels are peaking with all these laughter.
Okay.
So, here we go. Okay.
Okay, here we go.
So for me, it's very easy. It's his name was Barry Kennedy, and he taught at Killarney. He was an English teacher. Do you have Mr. Kennedy?
No, I didn't, but I know who he is very well.
Yeah, just a really
Couldn't miss
wonderful
him.
guy. He was one of those. I feel like he had that leftover idealism from the '60s of sort of like stand up to power, you know.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
And he was sort of he had irreverent things on his wall, which I mean now probably might not look like it, but in the early '80s when I went to his class, he had like funny pictures and things drawn on his wall, which no other teachers had. And he had a great sense of humor, and he saw me or you, whoever you are, for who you were. And he was just a great guy, and he really was super encouraging to me. He really encouraged me to write. And actually, when I wrote my book, I put a thank you in for him. But he had died. But I knew that, but I just want to acknowledge how much he influenced me. And then I found out that his son is the, I feel so dumb saying this. What do you call the head of the teacher, the person that's head of the school board?
Oh,
The superintendent?
superintendent.
Yeah.
The superintendent of West Vancouver.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
wow.
Chris Kennedy.
Oh, yes.
So
Okay, yeah.
I got in contact with him, let him know that his dad was super influential and that I wanted to thank him in the book. And then I invited him to the book launch, and then he came to my book launch with his mom, who was Mr. Kennedy's wife, and they were very thankful, and
nice.
it was a great experience. And then I know someone who was teaching in West Van, and Chris Kennedy was there recommending my book to teachers to use to teach in high school. So
Wow.
yeah, but Mr. Kennedy himself was just such a kind. He was a guy that just got it. You know, when you're in high school, some guys are like, nope, this is the way we do it. This is school, and these are the rules. But there's the other guys that got it, and they saw you. That's who Mr. Kennedy
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've mentioned her name before on our podcast, but my favorite teacher was Christine Miller, my grade 4 and 5 teacher. She was a breath of fresh air. It was Ridgeway in the 1970s. I think most teachers there taught in the 50s. They were all neurotypical. And she was this young 23-year-old teacher, just like, who is this person, right?
Yeah.
She had Crichter's creative writing. I mean, I love writing to this very day because of this woman.
Yeah.
Right? She would have science fiction days. I got into science fiction because of this woman, right?
Yeah.
She would talk to us like real human beings.
Yeah.
And then a few years ago, I found out that she was the head of the Bear program in North Van.
Of what program?
It's called the Bear Awareness program in North Van. She had stopped teaching in the 80s, but I met her through this Bear Awareness program.
Oh, so you
And
have
we
seen her as an
reconnect-
adult.
Seen her as an adult.
Yeah.
Had her over for lunch last summer. And in fact, as we speak, I'm organizing a Facebook group of people that were in her class in my grade 4 and 5 year to come back. We're hoping in September or October to get together with Christine Miller, and everyone has the same stories about her. How
That's
she's just
awesome.
related with people.
Yeah.
So it's just being able to tell that to someone. And I mean, I've experienced it the other way too. When a student tells you that you've made a difference in their life, it's like, wow.
that feels good.
But she's just, her face just lit up. And I still have a letter that I kept in grade 5 that she wrote me because my friend and I adored her, and we baked her a cake on the last day of grade 5. And we happened to be going to Safeway to buy a Duncan Hines box to bake this cake, to bake it for her. And we're in line, and then we look behind us, and it's Miss Miller. Right, and we quickly hid the box, and so she wrote this lovely note saying thank you for the cake, and she said now I know why you look so guilty, right, when you were in Safeway.
You couldn't hide it.
Wow.
And I still have that letter, and I took a picture of it, and I gave it to her just a few weeks ago so she could see that letter, and it's just like
You gotta have Christine Miller on the podcast.
that. I think that
that
would be
would be
amazing,
great. That
right?
makes sense.
I
You
know.
know, the
yeah.
funny thing, in grade 7, I was in an open area, and one of the teachers' names, she was great, was Chris Miller. It's not the same person.
Okay, yeah,
Because
okay.
her name at the time wasn't Miller, it was Loney.
Okay.
She married a teacher.
Richard Loney?
No,
Did she marry Richard Loney?
no.
So
she
he-
married Ron Miller.
Oh no! But
Yeah, they were both my grade 7 teachers. They got married.
before she was married, her name was Loney.
I don't know because
You-
she's
I-
quite young. She was like you say, like a brand new teacher.
I just jump on that because at Sutherland, when I went to Sutherland, my French teacher was Richard Loney, and you know who that was?
No.
Being a Canuck fan, he sang in the Canuck. He was one of the greatest Canuck O Canada singers. He sang Richard Loney, right?
Oh,
and he was a teacher at
yeah,
Sutherland.
yeah,
Yeah. And he even, I remember we were in grade 12, and he came out with his Christmas album, and he was selling copies.
Hey, do you guys remember when Carl Lewis sang the American national anthem at a baseball game, and he couldn't hit the notes,
No,
and then it was coming around to the hard part again, and then he was like, "Okay, gonna make up for it this time," and then he didn't hit the note again.
So, Steve, do you have a favorite teacher?
Yeah, I have one favorite teacher, and it's similar to your story, going back to grade 4.
Okay.
Yeah, grade 4, Miss Hammy Gammy.
Hammy Gammy?
Hammy Gammy. Yeah,
That's her real name?
That's her real
Wow.
name. And yeah, I think she was straight out of
Love it.
university,
Love
probably
it.
like 23 years
Yeah,
old
yeah,
or
yeah,
something
yeah.
like
Yeah.
Miss Miller. And yeah, Miss Hamigami, I can't remember too many details of grade 4, but I just remember that she was my favorite teacher. Like I could see myself in the future becoming a teacher because of her.
That's great.
And all what I know is that my mother would say that every day when I came home from school in grade 4, my mom would say that you're just in love with her. You're just in love with your teacher. You know everything she's wearing. You know
Right.
every word she said, and
And okay, so the fun thing is, Steve went to Waverly.
yeah.
And
Okay.
then I started teaching at Waverly, and she was still there.
Oh,
So
wow.
I taught with her, and she's my neighbor. She lives like a block away.
Yeah, and then when I was a substitute teacher, when I became a teacher, and then I had a sub, one day I was called to Waverly School, and it was so weird to go in the staff room where you
Yeah.
went to elementary school, and I was looking for Gloria. I found out later, because my family got to know her. Her name is Gloria Hamigami, and changed to Gloria Joe.
Okay.
At that time, I was looking for Gloria Joe, and they said, "Oh no, she's off today. She's never off, and she's off today." And so I never got a chance to meet her in the school, but I did see her in the neighborhood from time to time.
Yeah.
Roy, you've talked about a favorite teacher
Can I just
before.
add one more thing about Miss Hamigami?
Please do.
Okay.
A fun fact: she was on the very first BC Lions cheerleading squad.
I did not even know that. You should have told me.
Yeah.
Right? Teacher side
So,
hustles.
here's the thing. So far, 3 of us have chosen women in their early 20s.
Just
see if Roy keeps that
random
going.
choice.
I'm sorry I don't have any.
Yeah.
For me, it was a PE teacher of mine, Mr. Oswald. I was on the wrestling team in high school, and he saw leadership skills in me that I didn't think I had. And he made me the captain of the team and just put me in situations to give me opportunities for leadership. And I believe that was probably the most influence that I can think of anybody having in my life. It was seeing something that I didn't see that was there. And I went on to, it was almost like, okay, I can do stuff. And I went on to going on to university when I thought I come from a small town. I thought my options were working in agricultural industry or working in a factory. And I just pulled it all together at last minute. Went on to university. I became a teacher. And one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life is I went back to my high school and I went and found Mr. Oswald. And I said to him, I said, I became a teacher and I went to university and became a teacher, and it's because of your influence. And he said, well, I'm glad you went to university.
So I want to show you a picture, and it's funny when you're 10 and your teacher's 23, 24. They're like an adult, right? But then eventually, when you both become adults, you're like the same age almost.
Yeah,
so here's a
yeah,
picture of
that's
me
true.
with Miss Miller from a year ago.
Wow.
That's great.
The 10 years or 15, whatever it is, 11, just,
Yeah, it
or
means
just
nothing
nothing
when
at
you're
that
an adult.
point, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking about when I was like 10, 11, 12, like I was this weird combination of being kind of cocky and also like nervous. But I would have thought, like, if I liked Miss, whatever teacher I had, say she was 22, I would have thought, I might have a chance. You know what I mean? like I would seriously consider, like, right circumstances, I think I could probably pull this off.
I get my lunch money, we'll go out.
Like a babysitter, I'd think, like, yeah, we get rid of these other two kids, maybe me and you.
It's going to be the longest episode ever.
Oh my God.
Okay. Well, thank you guys. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Okay, you bet.
Thank you.
Well, this has been a great event, hasn't
Well,
it?
it's amazing to see so many people here, and
the sun is setting. We got this beautiful view of Vancouver from North Point here, and I really have to give a shout out to North
Point Brewing.
They've been such.
Let us have this upstairs room.
Yeah.
There's the main floor of the brewery, and the upstairs room, and it's open to the public, but there was no one up here, and we've had the whole place to ourselves. The people who showed up thought we'd gone. Broke the bank for this.
They were really impressed, right? And we don't have any official sponsors, but I would like to think North Point is maybe our first sponsor in the sense that they provided this and allowed us to have this celebration here. And so we encourage people to come to North Point, and they have a wonderful list of beers,
beer
and
selection,
sours and ciders, and good food and good eats in this upstairs location. We will definitely have another celebration.
I think we'll have another celebration up here.
And it's just been wonderful to spend it with all these After the Bell listeners.
Yes.
And
it's nice. We have family here. We have friends here. But that's how everything starts out. That's how our podcast started. It was with the friendship that we have.
Exactly.
And we're building a family here, building a family of listeners.
Yes. And
when
so
you think about it.
This is the end of our summer sessions for the summer, but we're having our season 2 will begin on September 1st, Monday, September 1st, Labor Day. And Nick, who was here today, will be our very first guest, talking about the peony and his book, Eastside Story. So
there you go.
Looking forward to that.
I'm looking forward to it, too.
We really wish everybody a great start to the school year and a great beginning in September.
Yep.
This podcast is organic, taking shape with each episode. Building resiliency for teachers everywhere.
That sounds great.
And our website is stuntbrothers.ca.
That's stuntbrothers.ca.
We will chat again.
After the bell.